Well, I sit on the VA committee, and I've worked on a lot of veterans legislation. In fact, one of the three bills I passed last year, my first year in Congress, was out of the VA committee. And I partnered up with a member across the aisle, Congressman Kilmer out of Washington, to work on this legislation. I hear from constituents in the Low Country time after time that the veteran homelessness, it continues to be an issue. And it's not just here in the Low Country, it's across our state of South Carolina, it's across the country. And here's an opportunity for us to work together on a pilot program and a study that would look at the ways that we can help end veteran homelessness. And this is just one idea and one way we can help tackle that challenge. I would love to see this pilot program, of course, come to the Low Country, come to Charleston specifically. 1/3 of all veterans in South Carolina reside in the 1st Congressional District. This would allow a pilot program to be set up by the VA to determine, basically create some of these tiny home villages as a way to combat the affordable housing and homelessness that veterans face. The bill would also include wraparound services for veterans with these homes. That could be financial planning, job placement, job training, certifications, et cetera. But the VA would be allowed to create or at least pick the location. Of course, I'd be advocating for Charleston since we have 1/3 of all vets living here in our area. So yeah, the first step would be obviously legislatively, right? And get it through the committee process and get it through a vote on the floor of the House. And then it would go to the Senate. So there's a long process for this kind of thing to actually come to fruition. But, many of us watch TV and we see the commercials where veterans or nonprofits that are stepping in to help our veterans. Well, we can too. I mean, these veterans risk their lives for our country. And this is one way that we can and should explore and study if this can help solve part of the homeless issues that we have here in the Low Country, because you guys have reported on stories the last couple of years of homelessness with our veterans, but across the state and across the country. This issue plagues so many communities across the country. And because we have so many veterans that live here in the Low Country, would be a great place to start and pilot this kind of program and see if it works. Come from existing funds, and the VA would help determine that. It wouldn't pull or add any new additional spending or funding mechanism. It would come from existing funds. So when I got elected, I said I would reach across the aisle when I could work with others, and I've done that a number of times. This is yet another bill that I've worked on in a bipartisan way. In fact, last year, in my first year in office, I passed 3 bills out of the House with a Democrat partner. The first was a civil rights bill. The second was scholarship funding for Gold Star families. And the third one in the summertime was with Congressman Khanna out of California regarding cybersecurity issues with the federal government. I've done this time and time again. I worked on conservatorship legislation with Congressman Charlie Crist. In the next few days, it'll be the January 6th anniversary. Another bill or piece of legislation I worked on with Congressman Crist was to recognize Capitol Hill police officer Eugene Goodman for his heroic acts on that day. So I have a history of reaching across the aisle to try to get things accomplished and get things done. And I've always been that way, and we're continuing the work that we started last year. That I want folks to know that I serve on the Veterans Affairs Committee and that I've been working really hard to accomplish what I can through that committee. And it's important that we remember that in order to be successful in Congress, you have to build consensus. And the only way you can build consensus is by working with people on both sides of the aisle. It can't be one way or the highway. We have to work together. And I'm going to continue to be successful in that regard. And if anyone has any ideas they want to send our way for veterans, they can reach out to us at mace.house.gov.